listening to the Digitally Irresistible podcast, where we cover the optimization of digital technologies and irresistible people. Brought to you by iQor. Each episode features someone who sheds a little more light on the ins and outs of delivering a great employee and customer experience that has a measurable impact on the business. And now, here's today's guest. Hey there, welcome to another episode of the Digitally Irresistible podcast. I'm your host, Bernie Borges. Today's guest is Christian Smalls. Welcome, Christian.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited that you're here, Christian.
Yes.
You know, in your role as an operations manager at iCORE, you oversee a team of about 100 full-time employees, and your approach to managing your team is driven by relationship building. So, Christian, on this episode, I want you to share how you learn the value of relationship building in this business, and specifically your approach to relationship building with your team and the positive impact that it has on employee retention through effective relationship building. But first, as I think you know, let's begin with your introduction. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your current role and how you got there?
Sure, absolutely. My current role, I'm an operations manager. I've been in my role since 2015. I started as an agent on the phones. I've been with iCORE 18 years, started August 4th, 2003 to be exact, and just starting on the phones. And then from there in 2005, I was promoted to a supervisor. And here I am now in my current role as an operations manager.
Wow. Well, 18 years, you must have learned a whole lot along the way. Not surprised that you're in a leadership role. Why don't you unpack that a little bit for us? Give us a little more detail, Christian, on exactly the roles and responsibilities of your current role as an operations manager.
Sure, absolutely. So my current role and responsibilities each day in my day-to-day, number one is formulating strategies, improving performance, and also managing the financials, as well as conference calls with clients and business reviews, on top of managing my supervisors and our quality and our team leads. But I will say, out of all my responsibility, my priority and primary responsibility would be relationship building, whether that's with my peers, my direct reports, my higher ups in terms of leaders and clients. Everything that I just named out to you, Bernie, I would think of it as a foundation, a home, but at the end of the day, you know that strong foundation starts with the relationship. So again, anything that I just named in terms of reporting, driving performance, think of it as a structure for a home, but that foundation is the relationship. And I love it. And it starts with the relationship. Otherwise, everything else is just sinking sand.
Yeah, I get it. Now, I'm going to ask you to unpack that some more. But first, I want you to clarify, you are managing 100 people across how many lines of business?
3.
3 lines of business. Okay.
Yes.
So big responsibility. Now, we're obviously here to discuss the impact of relationship building on your team, your responsibilities. So why don't we begin with, why is it so important that you are really good at relationship building, as you said, with peers, with your team, et cetera?
Well, given today's circumstances and, most of our staff now today works from home, it's not like I can just walk up to your desk like I would when we were in the office, say good morning, start our day. It's very important that we do check-ins before we even start our day to talk game plans or yesterday performance or just what the important hot topics are. We have to first start, and where I first start is checking in on my team. How are we doing? How are we feeling? Everything starts with that relationship. You will have your team. They will work the extra mile. It builds productivity. It also helps improve collaboration. So again, everything just goes back to that. And I'm a strong believer that people will work harder and people will stay if they feel appreciated, and they'll go that extra mile for you, because at the end of the day, no one wants to disappoint, and we all want to win in the end.
With iCORE, brands can go completely virtual or blend on-site customer interaction agents with those working at home. Scale easily and securely with our digital CX platform. Smile with iCORE. Learn more at iCORE.com. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now, you've also been a beneficiary of relationship building. You've been on the receiving end where, as you know, you mentioned you've been with iCor 18 years.
yeah.
And so, why don't you share a story where someone invested in building a relationship with you and the impact that it's had on you?
Absolutely. Throughout the course of my time here, I've been blessed to been touched by many strong leaders, but there was just one individual that invested time in me, saw in me the potential growth that I didn't see in myself, or just took that time to show me the business piece of the aspect when it comes to the financials, when it comes to the client relationships. When I thought it was a good day, this person pushed me to have a great day, to be better at what it was that I'm doing. So from there, the doors opened, my performance improved, and it just ties back to the relationship. I was being mentored and developed for something in the future. During that time when it was happening, I didn't know it was happening. I was just doing these things and learning, but it opened up doors. It's the foundation for me now, to where my current leader has so much confidence and trust in me, and I'm able to support our business in many different levels and ways, just because of that initial relationship, that seed that was planted years ago.
I love the fact that you call it a foundation. I love the fact that you're using that metaphor that it was the foundation that was being built, even though you didn't know it. And that investment that previous leaders were investing in you, and it's really created a foundation for your current leadership role. So let's segue to another aspect of leadership, and that is there is an initiative at iCor called CEO. You're involved in that. So why don't you explain what CEO is and what is your involvement?
Sure, absolutely. So the CEO is customer, employee, and owner. Just wanting to point out that owner, that we're all stakeholders, we all are owners, and this is all iCore. It's a global initiative where we focus on the development and the retainment of our employees. One way we focus on this is by creating program targets. These targets are created, some are created by best practices. We also work to enhance reporting that we can use to identify trends and learns on what we can do to get better with improving our retention and increasing our retention. And we know the more that we improve our retention, that's going to bring us stronger employees.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to go there next. I'd like you to elaborate on, what are the benefits of employee retention, the benefits to us, iCor, and the benefits to our clients.
Absolutely. So one thing I will say is that, having an employee that appreciates and having a positive environment, that not only benefits the employee but also the organization. So let's talk about how it benefits iCore. So a couple of ways that it benefits iCore is, number one, it's going to produce a high skilled workers. So the more that we retain our agents or our staff, that's time that we can invest in our agents and our staff. We're not starting over with new hires. We can really fully vet and invest and create strong workers. Number two, it does improve or increase our client relationships. One thing that I will say is that even on current programs that I work that has that strong tenured base, we have our clients coming on the line and calling our employees by name, and not just our frontline leaders. You're talking our agents. To me, that's trust, that's confidence. And once that has been established, that opens up the door for more business, more growth, stronger KPIs. And once it opens up the door for more business, that's more opportunity for us to continue to hire and promote within. Another positive reflection that would come forth is that it improves employee morale, right? So we know, especially given the times that we're working with, an employee psychological space and where they are, that's going to impact performance one way or the other. So we spend hours working with one another, right? So it's important that we're doing those check-ins. We're checking on one another. We're driving morale and increasing morale, which then creates a positive experience, a professional experience, and it all ties back to the organization. Another benefit to employee retention is, if that employee is happy, we know that that employee is going to work harder and bring strong results and produce great performance, retention, and a great attitude. So that's another plus. And we know that positivity spreads. So that's going to spread whether we're working on site or we're working in the office. So there are several layers and benefits to just having that great positive relationship. One last thing I don't want to forget about and how it impacts us is that it creates a very competitive staff. So once the word comes out about iCORE and our high retention rates, that's going to bring us in skilled employees, skilled candidates, and agents, employees. They're going to be more likely to stay with us. Why? Because iCORE is a great place to work.
Fantastic. Okay, well, Kristen, I just have one more question for you, and I think you know what that is. Well, we always like to end each conversation with this question, and that is, when you're not working, what do you like to do for fun?
Oh, I love this question. So, Bernie, I not only work hard, but I like to play hard. But me playing hard is family time. Like I go hard Monday through Friday throughout the week, putting in work, doing what needs to be done because I love iCore and I love what I do. I also love my family. So my downtime is the weekend. I love cooking and grilling. My daughters like to come to me and bring me new recipes to try. This weekend, we're making stuffed lamb chops. So I just love cooking, grilling, watching a good movie, and spending time with my family.
Fantastic. I
Yeah.
love that. It doesn't surprise me when you said, you not only do you work hard, but you play hard. And I love the fact that you're doing that with your family and you're cooking. That's fantastic. I also enjoy
Yeah.
cooking, although I limit it to the weekends. I don't cook during the week.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even have time to.
Right. Fantastic. Well, Kristen, I just want to thank you for taking the time to join us on this episode of the Digitally Irresistible podcast. Your 18-year career journey at iCORE is very inspiring, very impressive. Clearly, the relationship that you're building with your peers, with your team, has had and is having a great impact on employee retention, on client outcomes. And I think it's just so inspirational. And I just want to thank you for sharing it here today.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Digitally Irresistible podcast, where we cover the optimization of digital technologies and irresistible people, delivering a great employee and customer experience that has a measurable impact on the business. Brought to you by iCORE. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast player so you don't miss future episodes.